bought a new book. It's called Waiting for the Biblioburro. And a burro is this animal here. There's two of them, see. Biblio means something to do with books. And I see some books. I see some books that the burro is carrying, and I see a book in this little girl's hand. So let's see what this story is about. First of all, I want to show you where this story takes place, the setting. So we've been talking about South America down here. We live up here in Florida. South America's down here. Our first story with Anna and the violin was from Paraguay. And then we moved up to Brazil, this great big country in South America, to read about the soccer star. Now we're going over here on the coast to Peru, which is a beautiful country with tall mountains. And we're going to read Waiting for the Biblioburro. On a hill, behind a tree, there is a house. In the house, there is a bed, and on the bed, there is a little girl named Anna, fast asleep, dreaming about a world outside and beyond the hill. You see her in the window? When Anna wakes up to the rooster's cock-a-doodle-doo, Poppy is already at work on the farm, and Mammy is busy in the garden. Anna bathes her little brother, feeds the goats, and collects the eggs to sell at the market. After breakfast, Anna and her mother walk down the hill. Anna closes her eyes against the sun and wishes she was back in the cool of her house with her libro, her book. Anna has read her book, her only book, so many times she knows it by heart. The book was a gift from her teacher for working so hard on her reading and writing. But last fall, her teacher moved far away, and now there was no one to teach Anna and the other children in her village. So at night, on her bed in the house on the hill, Anna makes up her own cuentos and tells stories to her little brother to help him fall asleep. She tells him stories about make-believe creatures that live in the forest and in the mountains and the sea. She wishes for new stories to read, but her teacher with the books has gone. Can you see all her magical creatures that she makes up? She has a great imagination. One morning, Anna wakes up to the sounds of tack-a-tack, clip-clop, and a loud ee-aw, ee-aw. When Anna looks down the hill below her house, she sees a man with a sign that reads, Biblioburro. With the man, there are two burros. What are they carrying? Libros, books! Anna runs down the hill to the man with the sign and the burros and the books. Other children run to him too, skipping down hills and stomping through fields. Who are you? Who are they? The children asked. The man says, I am a librarian, a bibliotecario, and these are my burros, Alpha and Beta. Welcome to the Biblioburro, my biblioteca, which means library. But Senor, Anna says, I thought libraries were only in big cities and buildings. Not this one, says the librarian. This is a moving library. Then he spreads out his books and invites the children to join him under a tree. Now, I want you to notice something on this page right here. I'm reading the black print up here because that's the English part. But if they live in South America and Peru, what language do you think they speak? They speak Spanish. And so down here at the bottom of each page is the same story, but it's written in Spanish. So people who speak English or Spanish and read English or Spanish can read this book. But if we were actually there in the story, they'd all be speaking Spanish because they live in Peru. Once upon a time, the librarian begins, sharing a story of an elephant who swings from a spider web. He reads from books with beautiful pictures and then helps the little ones learn their ABCs. He sings A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Finally, he says, now it's your turn. Pick out books, and in a few weeks, I will be back to collect them and bring you new ones. Me too, asked Anna. Especially you, says the librarian with a smile. Oh, she must be so excited. So many cuentos. While Alpha and Beta chomp the sweet grass under the tree, Anna picks up book after book and finds pink dolphins and blue butterflies and castles and fairies and talking lions and magic carpets. She can't decide what to choose. Look at that. Someone should write a story about your burrows, Anna tells the librarian, rubbing Alpha's nose and feeding more grass to Beta. Why don't you? He asks, and then he packs up the books and he's off. Enjoy, he calls to the children. I will be back. They all have a book in their hand. Ada runs up the hill to her house, hugging the books to her chest. She can't wait to share her books with her brother, and that night she reads until she can't keep her eyes open any longer. Each morning Anna does her chores and reads and looks out her window. She listens for the sounds of Alpha and Beta, but weeks pass and the librarian doesn't return. So up here it's got numbers 1, 2, 5 days, 6 days, 17th, 21st. Days and days are going by and he hasn't come back. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who smiles and says, Go read, Anna. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who smiles and says, Go draw, Anna. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who smiles and says, Go write, Anna. When will he come back? She asks her mother, who finally says, Go to bed, Anna. One night, Anna dreams she is flying over her country on a beautiful butterfly's back. In her dream, she crosses mountains and oceans and rivers and jungles, bringing stories everywhere she goes. Stories fly from her mouth and her fingers like magic, falling into the hands of the children waiting below. When Anna wakes up, she misses Alpha and Beta and the Biblioburro's books. She remembers that the librarian told her that she could write a book, and so with paper and string and colored pencils, she does. Finally, just when Anna thinks she'll never see the Biblioburro again, she wakes up to the ee-aw, ee-aw, and children yelling. She runs down the hill with her library books and a special surprise of her very own. I wrote this one for you, she says. Que bueno, the librarian says, and then he reads her story to the children under the tree. When it's time to go, Anna's book is packed carefully on the burro's back. So he took her book, ready to be carried away over the hills and through the fields to another child who is asleep on a bed in a house on a hill behind a tree, dreaming of Alpha and Beta and all the new stories the Biblioburro will bring. The end. What a wonderful story. So we're going to do a little talking about this book. I want you to really think about what the problem was in Anna's village and how the Biblioburro man solved the problem. That's what I want you to think about.